Just bought a new cell phone. Which means a new version should be released very shortly. I never time it right. Whenever I buy a phone, the next week, people are like, oh yeah, they released a new version. The one you bought is now free. And these phones are not cheap. We've become numb to the price of these cell phones. We're like, wow, that's how much I spent on my engagement ring. Well, then again, I don't look at that on the toilet, do I? We're such suckers. They overcharge us for the phone, and then they upsell us on all the accessories. They're like, that new phone you just bought, you got a case for it? It doesn't come with a case? I got one right here, $5,000. You got insurance for a phone? Oh, you need it? Sure, God forbid something happens to your pretty new phone. What would happen? I'd smack it out of your hands. There's pressure to get a new phone, right? There's that manufactured old phone shame. We've all been there. You're like, I got the iPhone 7. What a loser. Where'd you get that? The Smithsonian? Does the camera on that phone use film? And that's the only thing they improve on the phone is the camera, right? And then they try and convince us we need the new phone. They're like, oh, this new phone's unbelievable. It's got 4 lenses, 5 million megapixels. You can shoot a feature film. I just need to text my wife. We should do a movie about that. The cameras on our phones are so advanced, it's gotten to the point where when you see someone with a regular camera, just a camera, they look so out of place. You're like, is that guy part of a Civil War reenactment? The value of a photo has changed too. I get emails from my kids' schools. They're like, would you like to order your child's school portrait? I'm like, delete. The last thing any parent needs is more photos of their children. Schools should just offer, hey, we'll come over and delete half your photos. I'd pay for that. Because that's what we use our phones for photos, emails, directions, anything but talking. When my phone rings, I'm like, well, that's obviously not for me. I don't talk on my phone. Growing up, there was a commercial where people would just call and say, I love you. Can you imagine if that happened today? I just wanted to call and say, I love you. What are you, suicidal? Don't call me and say weird crap like that. Text me and ask if I can chat. But the worst are the people that try to FaceTime you out of the blue. I feel like they're breaking in your house. Ah! What do I do? I haven't showered yet. I try and schedule tours around school breaks. You know, like at Christmas one year, I did a bunch of shows in Florida. My wife and kids came down. My wife's family also came down because they didn't want us to have a good time. I'm kidding. I love my wife's family. Did that sound believable? I do love them. They're my in-laws. That's a strange term, in-law. It's like, are you related? Legally. In a court of law. In-law, it's like the opposite of being in love. We're in law. We law each other. Very much. In-laws are like family you're assigned. It's like, you want to spend your life with that person? You got to take those 10 people. All of them? My only issue with my in-laws is there's too many of them. My wife is one of 9 children, so every holiday, all 9 of the siblings and their individual families all get together and spend every moment together. Over Christmas, I went to a movie with 30 people. I didn't even know that was legal. We were walking around, people thought we were from a church. To put it in perspective, Jesus only walked around with 12. I learned very quickly, I don't want to do anything with 30 people. If I was on the Titanic and the last rescue boat was filled with 30 people, I'd be like, you guys go ahead. I don't want to be there when you're trying to decide where to eat lunch. Often it was more than 30 people, because sometimes those 30 people will invite other people. So you'll have conversations and someone will be like, I'm your wife's uncle's best friend. Like, oh, there's a term for that. Stranger. You're a total stranger. So excited tonight. I'm gonna go out to dinner. I love going out to dinner. I like nice restaurants, not too fancy. You know, I can always tell how fancy a restaurant is by how few things on the menu I actually want to order. Like, wow, this place is pretty impressive. I don't want to get any of this crap. Should I not get the snails or not get the pheasant? Like, if I'm going out to eat, I'm not looking to experiment. You know, I usually get a steak, but if I go out a couple nights in a row, I'll definitely mix it up. Like the first night I'll get a steak, but like the second night I'll get like 2 steaks. Fanciest restaurant I ever went to was after a movie premiere. That's not really important to the story, but I wanted you to know I was in a movie. After this movie premiere, they brought us to this restaurant that only had 6 tables. And this supermodel hostess led us to the table. She acted like she was our best friend. She's like, hi, how are you? It's so great to see you. And I was just thinking, you'd never talk to me. And she led us to these 6 tables. And when our entrees were delivered, these 6 dancers came out and started dancing in front of each of the tables. I realize it sounds like I'm describing a strip club. But it was an actual restaurant called Gentlemen's Club. No, it was a real restaurant that, for some reason, had these 6 female dancers in very tasteful costumes, and they danced in front of each table while you ate your entree. It was weird. I didn't want to ignore the dancer, but I didn't want to be like chewing on steak, being like, yeah, that's a pretty one there. Nice gams on that filly. It was awkward for so many reasons. Mainly because I could tell the woman dancing at our table was really into me. I mean, she was acting like she wasn't, but I wasn't born yesterday. I'm married, I have 5 children, and this dancer's ignoring me in a very flirtatious way. So later on, after the meal, we were brought to the bar section of the restaurant, which overlooked the 6 tables. And eventually other people were seated at the 6 tables, and they eventually got their entrees, and the dancers came out. And I was like, oh, I see what's going on here. She's trying to make me jealous. Well, I don't play those games, so I just ignored her back. And then at the end of the night, everyone from the movie were making plans, and some people were going out, and I was like, I'm just gonna go back to my hotel. So I started walking back to my hotel, and I kind of recognized someone in the distance talking on the phone, and I realized it was our dancer from the restaurant. And I was like, oh, what a coinkydink. And she was doing that pretend talk on the phone thing. She's like, I'm just talking on the phone. I'm not in love with Jim Gaffigan. It's like, yeah, right. So I did what any happily married man would do. I followed her home and killed her. But you can see how it wasn't my fault. I just wish some of you could see some of the faces. Why? Now, the only reason that's funny, if it is funny, the only reason that's funny is because it's true. I killed someone in Toronto. No, the only reason that's funny is because men are that dumb. Every man in this room at one point has looked at someone and thought, they're into me. Only to realize later on, oh, they're not into me. And then that person ends up dead. Let me just say up front, I'm against murder. I don't want to divide the room, but I'm like anti-murder. Like if later on, if Ted's like, come on, let's kill someone, I'll be like, no. That's wrong. And he might rib me. He might be like, what are you, a liberal?
You ever talk about a movie with someone that read the book? They're always so condescending. The book was much better than the movie. Oh, really? What I enjoyed about the movie? No reading. It only took 2 hours, and then I could take a nap. I'm too lazy. You ever read an article and at the bottom it says continued on page 6? I'm like, not for me. I'm done. Why don't you stop bossing me around? Then I finally get to page 6. I can't even remember what I was reading. You ever read the ending to a different article? Al Gore is running from a waterfall? You ever read a book that changed your life? Me neither. I don't have the attention, but every now and then I'll read a book. I'll be so proud of myself. I'll try and squeeze it into conversation. People are like, hey, Jim, how you doing? I read a book. 250 pages. That's great. What was it about? No idea. Took me 2 years. You ever buy a book and not read it? You feel almost guilty having it on a bookshelf, don't you? People are like, hey, how was that book? I haven't read it. Did you just buy it? I've had it since high school. Well, can I borrow it? No. Anybody a gym teacher here? You think when gym teachers are younger, they're thinking, you know, I want to teach, but I don't want to read. How about kickball for 40 years? I can't believe we got grades in gym class. I've never used anything I learned in there. I've never been, all right, I'm standing in front of a room full of strangers. Based on what I've learned in gym class, I will throw a Red Bull at a fat guy. That's no good. I was raised Catholic. My dad used to always volunteer me for the reading in church. You know, I'd be like 6 years old. He'd be like, you'll be doing the reading. I'd be like, Christ. Never have my glasses, so I wouldn't be able to read. I'd be like, a letter from Peter to the postage post. Somebody kill me! I'd rather go to hell than read up here. Church, you're reading from the Bible. It's not you can make something up. You couldn't get the first line and then ad-lib. Letter from Peter to the apostles, Dear apostles, how was your weekend? Sure is hot here. Tell Jesus, hey. This is the word of the Lord. I don't know much about the Bible myself. I haven't read it because I don't have to, because I'm Catholic. Oh, he's going to hell. Not a lot of Catholics have read the Bible. It's a different perspective on rules for Catholics. It's not like other religions. You know, Hindus are not supposed to eat meat. They don't eat meat. Catholics like, only eat fish on Fridays, unless you forget. Do whatever the hell you want. We'll see you at Easter. I watch too much. I don't understand the people who don't like TV. I just prefer reading. Have you watched television? It's way better. There's pictures, there's sound, and most importantly, no reading. Some reading is hard. Someone hands me a legal document, I pass out. I'm like, what do they spray these with chloroform? Whereas the aforementioned, hereby known as proprietor. Who wrote this? Shakespeare? And why does it take 80 pages to communicate, I will owe you money the rest of my life? Whenever I get a legal document, it always has those red Post-it notes with the arrows on them. I feel like I'm in a live episode of Dora the Explorer. Where should you sign? Here? You did it! I've never read a legal document. I've signed a couple of them. That's why there's so many lawyers. How much would I have to pay you to read this? $500 an hour. That seems reasonable. Just make sure I'm not giving away a kid or anything. Have you read a physical book lately? Not on a tablet or a laptop, an actual book. You feel like you're Abe Lincoln. Oh, it's made of wood. Hope it doesn't catch on fire. When does this have to be back at the museum?